In the news today, today is the 26th of January, 2026. There's talk about sporting events where people buy the handicap spots, and that there's some handicaps or disabilities that are not visible. So for me, I know the rule is that people can't ask me what my disability is, although I don't mind telling them, except that they'll probably change my answer in their mind to something else they want to believe because they're drones and their thinking is limited, right, to matching the norm, the collective. And but what they don't talk about CBC, they don't criticize government as much as they criticize, business. Is, for example, BC Parks. I've been reporting on this for years. Is some don't have a handicap, a disability spot, or don't have enough, or it's taken, but I'm not sure if people verified. And a lot of the park operators favor their friends and family. I've been a victim of that. And then there's also the fact that the reservation system has a fee, and also sometimes you just worry, because people with disabilities aren't usually millionaires. And me, my disability makes me poor. Although British Columbia provides me with the percentage, a particular percentage of what would be basic living income based on the price of things, it also keeps me poor. There's a lot of ways I've documented it with Work BC, with working in schools when I'm overly qualified, but I'd have to pay student loans to get ECE or teacher certification when I'd end up probably giving the course as much as taking it. That's already been proven in the past. So I don't want to get into debt to kind of be taught by people that are not as qualified to teach what I'm being taught about than I am a lot of the times. And I've demonstrated that too, and I've asked for acknowledgement in our proto-society here in the province, but it's also, Canada. For example, Canada doesn't make it easy for me to transfer this provincial disability status to another place. So my disability is that I suffer from higher standards than the norm. And there's a lot of ways that the norm unconsciously punishes somebody in that way. And it's measurable, right? It's measurable what I'm talking about. It's not, I don't say it out of ego, because I think when I tell somebody, put me in your job and see how I do, it scares the hell out of them. And because once they get to know me, they know it's true. They know that I'm qualified in certain ways, and I keep offering personal and professional development training to people that refuse it, even for free, while I suffer from their lack of these skill sets that I want to teach them. So it's a sad world to live among drones who have experienced individuality or have the potential for free thinking, but they don't want it, right? They want intellectual laziness. They want social momentum. They want to lower their abilities to access their brain's higher functions, because that means responsibility, right? That means managing their own lives, which means undergoing the maturation process, which our species is no longer capable of. So here's kind of a little description that says that I do have guilt that I've achieved self-actualization in my human thinking tools, that the norm has not succeeded, and that I've had to abandon people sometimes who were kind of curious, but who lived in such toxic places that they wouldn't succeed even with my help to stop being drones or automatons or the norm, the Homo communia, right? The failed people primate species I share DNA with.
I simply want them to experience individuality, as I have, as you have. At one time, you were confined to this sick bay. Your program was limited to emergency medical protocols. In some ways, you were not unlike a drone. But you were granted the opportunity to explore your individuality. You were allowed to expand your program. Your mobile emitter gives you freedom of movement. Your thoughts are your own. If you were told you had to become a drone again, I believe you would resist.
Yes. I suppose I would.
I haven't watched the rest of that yet. And Seven of Nine, for me, is I'm realizing becoming increasingly sexier, and I'm, noticing her physical traits. But the thing is she's sexy because, and I found women older than me and sometimes not that attractive sexy based on personality traits or attitude. And Seven of Nine is, and has continued to be, and I'm watching Voyager for the first time in its entirety to get to know that character in big part because I want to study her again by watching Picard again, to know her full journey, her full psychohistory. But the fact that she is moving away from the drone part, the automaton part, is so attractive to me because I don't meet anybody in life that makes these choices and that accepts the guidance of, people like Captain Janeway.